Hello everyone, I hope you guys are doing really well. In the previous video, we got to learn about wildcards while we were trying to work with the like operator. So let's try to take a look at different kinds of wildcard that we can work with. So since Mrs. Harper gets peculiar requests from visitor, let's try to make the job of Mrs. Harper easier by making use of different kind of wildcards. So wildcard is basically a pattern that we create so that we can compare the values of our columns with those patterns. So the most popular wildcard that is commonly used is the percentage wildcard. It matches any sequence of characters, including 0 characters in a string. This makes it ideal for situations where we do not know the exact beginning, middle, or the end of a string, but have a keyword or a phrase that we want to search. So in situations where we want to search a keyword in any part of a column, whether it is in the beginning, middle, or at the very ending, we can make use of the percentage wildcard. So let's take one example for this. So let's say this is the table that Mrs. Harper is working with, and she wants to find books which have the inside it. She's looking for books which are starting with the keyword the. So for doing that, she can make use of select star from books, and then she can filter by making use of where clause, and then she can specify the column which is title. And then by making use of like, let's try to compare it to a pattern. So the pattern is something like that we want it to have the in the very starting, and then it can have anything after it. So the percentage wildcard specifies that we can have anything after the. So let's try to run this. All right. So we have received a set of books which are starting with the as the keyword. So we are having The Great Adventure, The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, and The Color Purple. So the wildcard allows us to match any title that contains the at the position, such as in the beginning. We can also make use of the percentage wildcard in the starting, and then we can specify a character with which we want to end this title. So let's say we want all the titles which are ending with S. Let's try to run this. So we can see that this particular title ends with S. This particular title ends with S. So we can create patterns using percentage wildcard and then compare it to the title, the column name that we are specifying in the where clause. And we can make the comparisons using the like operator. So now we know that we can make use of the percentage wildcard in the starting or in the ending of the pattern that we are trying to create. We can also use percentage wildcard at the very ending. So this will look for S. So this will look for the string S inside title. So if S is present as part of the title, that particular row will be returned. Let's try to run this. So over here, we can see that all the rows which have S as part of the title, they are returned. So we are having S here, we are having S here, we are having S here. All those titles which have S as a value, those will be returned. Okay, let's take a look at the other wildcard that we can use. So the other wildcard that we can use is underscore. So the underscore wildcard is used when we want to match exactly one character in a string. So this is useful in situations when we know a part of a string, but we are not aware of maybe one character or maybe a spelling of that particular string. So we use it in situations when we know the length of a text and only one character is unknown. We can also use it in situations when we are searching for patterns with specific letters at certain positions. Okay, let's try to look at how we can work with underscore wildcard in this table. So let's say this is one example of a table, which is a replica of a table that Mrs. Harper is working with. Let's just say a visitor comes to visit the library and she wants to borrow a book which is written by a specific author, but she's unable to recall the name of the author. So the only thing that she remembers is that the name of the author starts with J and the first name of the author is 4 words long. So over here, we will make use of the underscore. So we will make use of the underscore wildcard. Let's see how we can make use of it. So we want to fetch the value from the author. So we want to fetch the value from the table using the column author. So we will specify it in the where clause. And we want the value for author to match a particular pattern. So we can create that pattern by specifying the value which starts with the alphabet J and has the length of 4. So we are adding 2, 3, 4. So we are adding the length of the pattern as 4. So we want the first name to be of size 4 and then it can have anything as the last name. Let's try to run this. So we are having the authors which have the name of size 4. So by making use of the wildcard, we can specify the empty characters for the values which we are not aware of. Okay, now let's just say we want to fetch the values for the books where the author's name starts with J and the first name ends with N, and the size of the first name is 4. So it starts with J and it ends with N. And then we can have anything after it. So we are specifying percentage after it. Let's try to run it. So over here, we can see that we are getting the author as John. So the possible name that she must be looking for would be John, because it starts with J and then ends with N for its first name, and then has 2 alphabets between it. So by making use of the wildcard, the query will match author where only the 2 characters is different, but the structure is consistent. So by making use of these wildcards, we can perform advanced searches in SQL that would be difficult to achieve with exact matching alone. So each wildcard serves a specific purpose and can be combined to create powerful queries. So over here itself, we have made use of the wildcard percentage and the wildcard underscore to fetch the values. So in the same way, Mrs. Harper will also be able to make use of the wildcards, solve a wide range of real-life problems. Now it is your turn to make use of wildcards to fetch the values from the tables. Happy coding, everyone.